Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's podcast show. Everything, Knowing Who You Are.
Yes, Sunday live stream of Knowing Who You Are.
The Sunday live stream of Knowing Who You Are. Sorry, we've been listening to podcasts, we've been watching all sorts of different exciting things, so I got a little confused.
Welcome to Knowing Who You Are. So everyone who has tuned in, people already I can see. And interestingly, I thank you all for the support that you gave to the podcast, and we are doing it on YouTube, as you know. Just a little bit of housekeeping, as I always introduce, because people who are joining for the first time, a little bit of information for you, so where you can find us. So KnowingWhoYouAre.blog is the website, and you can always find us on YouTube. So good idea, if you haven't subscribed yet, you can, and there are a lot of videos there so far. And KnowingWhoYouAre.blog, everything is on the information and the show notes and the description you'll find, so it's there. And you can share, comment, anything you like, and anything you want to be added to, or any other content or anything that you would like us to talk to. So there are a lot of domain expert interviews, people who are expert in their own field we have done, and new interviews coming tomorrow definitely, and a few more to be. I mean, it's ongoing all the time. So, and Knowing Who You Are, this weekly live stream that we do on Sunday, it's more to connect with you, and we have decided to change the time back to where it was before, which is 6 o'clock in the evening. And because we felt that 3 o'clock our time would be 9 o'clock in Bangladesh, and other places like America would be early in the morning. But looked like, and we asked, and like a survey we did, and we found that probably it's not a good idea for most of the people, because they, either people in London or England, they're normally outside enjoying the weather. Since the weather is changing, it's sunny. I mean, speak about the weather. We came back home 1 hour before the show. So, yeah, it was really great. And we sat down with our books and just sitting and reading. It was so much fun, and walking around, looking at people having fun and the sunny weather. So, yeah, Sundays like that. That's the vibe. And hopefully that's what it was like for you too. So, and by the way, happy World Happiness Day.
Yes, exactly. Happy World Happiness Day.
Yeah, so a little bit of background about the day. It was established by the General Assembly of the United Nations on the 28th of June 2012, so 10 years back.
Wow.
And now it's celebrated all over the world on the 20th of March now. And very interesting, just to make people aware of the importance of happiness in their lives. So definitely there are a lot of hierarchies of needs that we have to fulfill before we reach there. But once it's done, initially, your physiological needs and your survival, that's sorted, your food, your survival, your shelter, then rest is just based on your thought. So happiness, according to you, what do you think of happiness?
Well, I had a chance to think about that, actually, because obviously I read earlier that it was Happiness Day, and I thought, well, what does it mean to me? And for me, I guess it's, first of all, I don't take life for granted, and the happiness that I feel with the life that I can create, that I like creating, the fact that I have a career that I really like, and I follow exactly what it is that I've always wanted to do in life. I have many amazing friends. I have amazing family. I have you. And I guess the idea that you can recognize that all the happiness you'll ever want is something that you are able to generate yourself. And to be able to say that, and that's actually true, is quite something. So I feel, I think it's being grateful for what you have, and knowing that you can be happier through your own actions and working towards that all the time.
And you're always enough.
Yeah.
So no matter where you are, say you're single, you're still enough.
Yeah.
You're double, you're still enough.
You're double.
I'm just making it
That's
up.
a new face group status.
Exactly.
Are you single or double?
Double, yeah. So
oh, that's funny.
It's just as more of a sarcastic thing, because I found that people, because most of the time I've done a video about this one as well, which was in Bengali, by the way. The main idea was to say that don't postpone your happiness until certain events happen in your life, and you feel, okay, I'm single at the moment, I can enjoy life. So when I become
Double.
then I can start enjoying life again. Or, okay, I have this particular model of car. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel good. When I have that particular model, I'm really at the moment salivating over on catalogs and everywhere.
Yeah.
People who are driving, or my neighbor or my friend, then I'll be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. So it's basically happiness when you feel that wherever you are, basically you are where you are supposed to be, because you have been working. Everyone's story is different, journey
Yeah.
is different.
Yeah.
So I was talking about this one to one of our audience members the other day, because it's a similar conversation. So, by the way, and it's an interesting question as well. Funny thing is that, I mean, many years ago, I came up with these things even before the day and age of internet, and even when this wasn't a movement, because happiness, mindfulness, purpose, meaning, intention, these things seem to be now more pronounced, because the world needs it, because we are living in a world of curated perfection. So you are
yeah.
looking at your social media, and based on social media especially in the last few years, the rise of different kind of social platforms, and that has opened the door for comparison among people. So everyone is looking at things, and we are comparing the outside perfection of people, friends, peers, and that's what's making us very anxious. The happiness is greatly affected, and we are always making this journey towards this. It's like always an upward journey. Wherever you
Yeah.
are, you always feel that it's not enough. I have to be there. And once you reach there, you're like, I have to be there. So it keeps on going. As you see, I'm going above the screen now. You can't see me anymore. So it keeps on going. So when you're always in a journey and you never stop the journey, in a sense that we have to have the journey. That's one thing. It's a process, but of improving ourselves. But once you reach a certain point, from that point onwards, at some point, or every level you are, no matter where you're going, you have to enjoy that. And that's why I mentioned once that happiness is like a direction, that a direction you are walking, you are journeying along. So that's very important, rather than thinking that's a destination I need to reach, and that's when happiness would be. And in the meantime, there is no happiness for me. I can't even think about that. So I was talking about this, the things I used to know about already, but nowadays when I'm reading different books, I come across these ideas. And it's funny that I was telling you this morning that how the ideas are getting circulated.
Yeah.
But it's funny that I felt in my own way, I came up to these conclusions even in my high school. Probably I had my own things about the idea of romanticism, idea of relationship, idea of partnership. And I even learned how to cook. So I cook. I could start cooking, because when I was growing up back in the 80s, 90s, it was unthought of that a man would go to the kitchen and start cooking. But my thing was that I don't know. I mean, no one told me. I'm not saying that I'm a guy full of wisdom or something, but probably I was a little precautious. And so I used to tell, I still remember, I told my mom that I want to learn how to cook. And she was like, no, why do you need to cook? There's someone to help in the kitchen. And I cook as well, my mom was saying. I said, no, but still, and I want to help my partner in the kitchen. That was funny. So what I was saying, because I'm reading this book now, it's a very amazing book, Solve for Happy by Mo Godat. This guy was chief business, I think, manager for Google X.
Yeah.
So his thing, he said that happiness, happiness is greater than and equal to reality, your reality minus the expectations. So whenever we keep our expectations below our reality, or at least equal to the reality, you're happy. So wherever you are, that's your reality. I mean, you'll change it, you work on it, that's fine. See, for example, I'm born with this color of skin. And Esther is born, she has her own color of skin, color of hair. And she is a little taller. I am what I am. But the thing is that I cannot change.
He's a bit stronger.
Yeah.
And much more muscles.
We can't change certain things. And
No.
there are certain things we can never change.
No.
You know, I cannot stretch myself, or you cannot push yourself down.
Yeah.
But we can't be unhappy about the fact.
Yeah.
I mean, especially this is when you see Instagram, instantly we can change color of skin, and we can put on makeup, put a smile on our face, put some lipstick on if it's not there. But the thing is that you can do that in the virtual world, and when you see that, you say, oh my God, that person is looking amazing. And you look at yourself in the mirror, you just got up from bed, no, without any makeup, and you're unhappy.
Right.
So your reality, when you are okay to accept your reality, trust me, you feel confident and you're happy because you're not really competing with anyone else.
True.
And anytime you feel like you need to do certain things just to prove a point to someone else, that's when you feel the pressure. But funny thing is that every time we go out, we get worried that, oh my God, everyone is looking at me, what I'm doing. But in the meantime, while you are thinking about this, they're thinking the same way. They're thinking what you are thinking about them. So,
As a general thing, that's not how we feel when we walk out. It's just like it is a general thing when we're talking sort of more general. When someone, you can see people, they're on their phones, they're taking selfies, and they're worried about what other people will think of them.
yeah.
And oh, by the way, Marie, hi Marie Hess,
And all the other viewers.
and all the
as well,
other
Marie,
viewers, yeah, all of you.
amazing.
Thank you
A
very
lot of
much
people
for
are joining.
watching. This is great.
I think 6 o'clock is the best time.
It
I
is
see
the best
people are more
time, yeah.
relaxed, probably.
Yeah.
People in England coming home.
Yeah.
America, it's kind of a midday thing.
Yeah.
And
But
in
it's
Bangladesh,
Sunday.
everything is done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in Bangladesh, it's not a weekly holiday.
No, that's
So
true.
they have to, I think they're coming back home, relaxing before going to bed, time to check your phone. And yeah, so
Yeah.
hello to everyone from Knowing Who
Yes.
You Are, weekly live stream. So let yourself known. Marie, thanks for letting yourself known, and nice to see you there, and big supporter.
Yeah.
And
And here's someone also who really is, you can see she's very happy.
Yeah.
She has a wonderful daughter and a lovely husband who's my cousin. And they have 2 dogs now. Really
Wow.
nice. And we're following all the wonderful pictures of your daughter being brought
yeah, I
up.
want to have my dogs back again. Dogs, cats or something. I'm just waiting
Yes.
for that.
Whenever we see them,
Yeah.
oh, look at that.
I mean, I've always been a pet lover. So anyone who's joining now, it's time for you to say hello to us. At least write in the comment. That would be really nice to let yourself known, so we know who has tuned in, even though we can sometimes see, but it doesn't show all the time.
No. we
So you are quite secure.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. But still, it'd be nice if you say hello. And also the number is there. If you're in England, you can dial directly 07308192908. And if you're in any part of the world, you can use WhatsApp and just dial how it is written.
Yeah.
0044730819298.
Yeah.
So let us know. So again, happy World Happiness Day. So how happy you are, or what's your idea of happiness, let us know. Just write in the comment, or you can definitely, if you're feeling happy and confident, just pick up your phone, give us a call. We can talk about it. In the meantime, we'll keep on chatting among ourselves. And at the same time, if you have the comment, let us know. Then we can discuss about that. So what's your definition of happiness? I mean, we had talked about our definition of happiness, and I believe in it. When you accept your reality, when you know that you're enough wherever you are, even though you're in a process of wherever you want to go, and you're enjoying your journey, main idea is to be in the present here and now, and feel that you're fine. However you speak, whatever you look like, wherever you are good, so long you're making an effort to change yourself, improve upon the situation you have, and you're not comparing yourself to someone else, just yourself, just yourself of the yesterday to your present day. I mean, and what's improvement you have done, you know it better. So every time you compare yourself and try to make those improvements, then I think you're really making some progress, and you should be happy.
Yeah.
And I think we should just be happy to be alive, to be honest. Because I see people, even in our families, your family, there are people who are going through a lot of ailments sometimes, and sometimes which is incurable. And they have to live with it until their last breath. And how happy you are when you are logging in, you have the time, you have a mobile phone in your hand. It's a smartphone, and you can see someone is doing live, and you can see that. You can press the love or like button and support.
It's true.
And we can communicate.
Yeah,
you can
it's
listen
true.
to us.
How cool, isn't it?
How cool is
Yeah,
that?
it's very
and
cool.
you're happy already.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And for us is the thing, we say that when you start serving people and serving others, rather than just concentrating all the happiness within yourself, okay, I bought this, I need this for myself, and this is for me, me all the time. When we do that, rather than thinking about us all around us, just that's when more happiness. I mean, happiness, you always find it gets increased when it's shared. I mean, these things, when I talk about, people might think that, okay, Ershad is just trying to sound like a saint, all these good talks. But the thing is that, to be honest with you, hand on heart, I don't say a single thing which I don't practice.
Nope.
There's things that there are a lot of other things that I know, but I feel that, okay, I haven't implemented that one yet in my life. I won't talk about it. So these are the things I have been practicing for quite some time, and I believe in it. And it helps me to stay grounded, to be honest. So, yeah. So again, World Happiness Day. This is the 20th of March. That's celebrated now. It's been established by the General Assembly of the United Nations back in 2012 on the 28th of June. So it's established
So
day.
it's today, exactly
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah. No, not exactly, because that was 28th of June.
Oh, right.
So
right.
they decided,
okay, they decided
every
that
year,
is fair enough.
because
yeah.
I believe every day there's something. So when they were sitting down with the calendar, they thought,
Let's figure.
oh, every day is taken. So 20th of March looks empty at the moment. Give it.
Well, maybe
the
there was
World
an actual
Happiness Day.
reason for it. Like, if anyone knows, let us know.
Yeah. And in the meantime, let us know what is your idea of happiness and what you think of your happiness, and what are you doing now that you feel that is making you happy. So that'd be a good conversation to have. So in the meantime, I understand you're reading a book on happiness.
Yeah, funnily enough, I didn't even know about World Happiness Day, and it's actually called The Key to Happiness, which is, oh, here we go, you can see it. And by a guy called Mike Viking from Denmark. And it's funny because I was reading today. I'd like to read it now, actually, because it says, because he talks about, he did a big survey to find out what's the difference between different people and their happiness, and when do they consider themselves happy. And he said, first of all, that we may be Danish, Mexican, Indian, Emirati, or any other nationality, but we are all first and foremost humans. We are not as different from each other as we may think. The hopes of those in Copenhagen, as Guadalajara, and the dreams of those in New York, Delhi, and Dubai all point towards the same beacon: happiness. Lykke, I think that's how you say it, is a Danish word for happiness, but you might refer to it as felicidad if you're Spanish, or glück, or bonheur if you're German or French. Geluk.
And so since you're mentioning, in Bangla is shuk.
Shuk. Okay, good. And he's talking about a study that they did with young children, and whenever they put like nice candlelight and they made a place cozy and they started storytelling, the kids all had the same reaction. They were all like, they're so happy. And they did the same studies in many, many countries. And that's why he says here, so no matter what you call it, story time will light up smiles in classrooms in the same way wherever you are in the world. And he basically covers what are the key points. And yeah, it's fun reading so far. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's what we've been discussing. Last week I talked about it too. I mean, normally our natural state is happy. I mean, normally when you think about, when you sit without any anxiety or any thoughts in your mind,
Be nice, wouldn't it?
we're just happy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, thoughts about, when you're sitting, your mind is racing all the time. I mean, what's next?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? And there are not much time available for ourselves, and we don't do it. We don't spend time with ourselves and by ourselves. Because most of the time, whenever you spend the time just by yourself, you're just sitting alone with your thoughts. And most of the time when you do that, this practice also makes us realize about the mortality, like your human life. And at some point, okay, I'm alone, and there will be a day when you really be alone. I'll be too, you be too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how
You'll never be alone. We already discussed this.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, that's what they say.
Yeah.
You normally become, or you become what you think about.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully if we think about this, but thinking about the mortality is an important thing, because that's when you realize the value of the present moment. And this is what I've realized, to be honest. I mean, growing up from my high school days up to a few years ago as well, I'm always like doing one thing after another, And there was a point when I used to do things clockwork, like 1 hour done, next hour this, then this. So that's how I have managed to do a lot of work. I mean, acquire a lot of skills, and which are coming in handy now, and it will. Anything we learn in life, bad or good, it comes in handy. Some bad things would make you realize that, okay, next time I've learned my lesson, I won't go near that. I won't do that.
Yeah.
And good things, definitely those experiences, sometimes you feel like, where am I going to use this? But then it end up that you can use that. You can utilize that at some point in your life. So Russell Hawk, nice to see you, Russell Bhai, after a long time. And we have known each other for nearly 15, 16 years probably.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great.
So I have, I mean, even it goes back to the time when I was in Bangladesh. She was in Bangladesh at the time, but we didn't know each other at the time.
Oh, wow.
But we knew it somehow because he owned a place, and he was one of those guys back in the days who used to know the computer and everything. So I had some interactions. Yeah, yes.
18 years.
So
Great.
I have known him, and he would come and support. Yeah, exactly. 18 years plus. That's what I was saying. I think it's more than that.
Yeah.
Even before we came to know each other in London, we know each other from Bangladesh. And he used to live, we have been there, and I've seen him at the place in Chittagong and music also. Yeah. So he's a big supporter of the concerts and everything, and he always kept on asking me whenever there's the next gig of the band or
Nice.
me,
That's
whenever I'm
great.
performing.
A
So
friend,
it's great
a friend
to see
for
you.
life.
Yeah.
A friend for life.
So Russell Bhai, best of luck to you, your family, your wife, your child. It's a boy or girl, that's what I don't know, but you can let us know. And you can always give us a call. It'd be nice to talk to you.
Yeah.
The number is there on the screen. We'll pick it up and you can let us know. And Russell Bhai, we're talking about happiness because it's the World Happiness Day. So what's happiness according to you? I mean, if you feel like just a one line, you can give us. A boy, exactly.
Oh, nice.
Okay, yeah.
Great.
So, yeah, if you let us know about your idea of happiness and what's your practice of finding happiness in life or at the moment, because you have experienced a lot of interesting things, because especially coming from a different country, and when we migrate and come and establish yourself in a different country, we leave behind many of the things we love, our memories, and we sometimes feel very nostalgic as well. I mean, I always talk about my days of growing up when I used to just take a rickshaw. I was just after high school, I think. This is what my practice was. I would just take a rickshaw, which is like a three-wheeler. People who don't know what rickshaw is, it's a thing in Bangladesh, India, and Indonesia as well. We've seen one.
Yeah. China.
So you just take, I used to just ride on a rickshaw and tell the rickshaw puller, just take me, just go, keep going. And back in the days, there wasn't that much traffic in Chittagong. Chittagong was considered to be one of the beautiful places because of the greenery all around. So, yeah. And I had done those things. I had my own practice of happiness when I used to just mull over and just enjoy the wind, and the rickshaw would go. I mean, Russell Bhai would know. In front of Lalkan Bazaar, people who are from Bangladesh, they would know, or Chittagong, they would know what I'm talking about. In front of the big mosque you have seen, where there's a big bridge now, there wasn't any bridge. So if you're in a rickshaw, you could feel the open space in front of you and the air you can feel, and what amazing weather. There's so many cars, and also most of the places are blocked, so it feels warmer now, hotter, I would say.
It was.
But back then it was, I could enjoy the breeze, and the weather was amazing. My memory of summer growing up was different. But now, when I went back to Bangladesh in 2021, in June, August, I was there, and it was the height of summer probably. So I really struggled. But yeah, I really don't, because we used to play in the sun. I used to play cricket.
It was just amazing to me.
In the field for long hours. So Russell Bhai, let us know, since we have been, and you are a happy person, I know, beautiful family. So what's your idea of happiness, or how do you keep your happiness alive? And everyone else who's joining now, I can see a lot of people
it's great.
watching it. There's a constant number. So let yourself known. And also you can call us, leave your comments. In the meantime, we'll keep our chat going. And also, as you know, in the show description, you see the show notes. It's already written. KnowingWhoYouAre.blog, that's the website. You can go there. Tons of contents there, our live streams. You can listen to them. Also, on Apple Podcast, you can download all the podcasts that I've done so far, all the interviews, and some of the live streams are available for you too. So yeah, you're welcome whenever you feel like. So in the meantime, your happiness practice, you're saying, I think one of the things we didn't mention, none of us, is the practice of gratitude.
Yeah.
It's very important because we are our thoughts. Whatever we keep thinking in a loop, that's what we become.
Yeah.
So whenever you think about the good things about, in your life, then you become grateful about it. It makes you happy. And you don't have to make it up, whatever that is. Someone could say, someone might have bought a new car. They can be happy. There's nothing wrong about that.
Yeah.
And someone could have just bought a new pen, and it could be just a pen that writes well.
Yeah.
I get very excited.
Oh my God, I get so excited about pens.
Yeah, pens like this pen. It's a very simple pen.
Yeah.
But this one, the nib here, it really makes me write my best. I even order whenever those nibs are sold out, or whenever I'm finished. Oh, if I take it out, all the springs and everything would come out. But I ordered them. I reordered them.
Yeah.
Also notebooks. When I get new notebooks, there's so many notebooks lying around, and books, definitely.
Yeah.
And when I
oh my God, books. We're
walk
never
into a
ending book
bookshop,
buyers.
I get happy. So you can be grateful about anything that you feel that you have enough of. There are a lot of things that every one of us can say, okay, I don't have this. Don't think about that. Think about what you are blessed with.
Yeah.
So anytime I try not to, and I really don't get that feeling, to be honest. There are a lot of things I can say, I wish I could have, but I don't even feel like anymore that I wish I could have. I feel that I look around, the things I have, say, I have you. I have this beautiful studio where I love music.
I thought you were about to call me beautiful.
You are beautiful.
No, it's very
Yeah, so
I was
the
like, oh.
studio I can do my music,
It's
right?
a beautiful studio, yes.
And
Which I helped set up.
Yeah,
I would
definitely.
like to.
So I sit down, I make the music, or I play music. I listen to whatever I want. I sometimes have this big screen here. I can watch movies if I want to. Even though we don't get that much time, it only happens, even though it's not right to do, being mindful what you're doing one thing at a time when you're eating, especially, or when you... So they say that don't mix up the spaces. But yeah, sometimes, most of the time, our dinner or lunch happens because our dining space is in the living room as well, where the TV is. So we watch something, we chat. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, Russell just answered the question. My happiness is, nowadays we could buy anything, but we couldn't buy time. And we are not going to live forever. Just want to live while I'm alive. Bravo. Yes.
Very good. Because
totally.
I
Absolutely.
have realized this. I agree with you 100%.
We really did. And I have to say, somewhere when I at a certain age, I won't say the age, but
yeah, we are contemporaries. Russell,
we're contemporary. Oh no, I'm just saying because we're light and it's fine. I don't care. I'm 44 years old and I'm very, very, very happy with my 44 years. But there was a point when I met you and we started being together, where suddenly, and I was much closer with my family. I changed a lot of things in my life to be more with my family. And like you started being really make sure when you cross the road, you look both sides. And suddenly these things about being careful about my life and looking after myself. I used to be absolutely reckless. I would not even look. I would just go and I'm thinking, well, I'll be fine. The car will stop. But there was a point where I started to appreciate life when I lost a few people very close to me. Then we had the pandemic where, we were on lockdown. This is before. And I was completely cut off from the whole world, and there was all these things that happened. Because you don't know when the
time would be over.
You don't know.
So it's a good point, and I think with age that realization comes.
Yeah.
And I talk about this too.
Yeah.
Every now and then, there were times I remember people who were around me. They can definitely, and they can confirm and authenticate that what I was like. I would get invited to a party. I would make excuses not to go there because I was like, okay, I can do certain things. It helped me. I mean, thankfully, I'm alive to enjoy those skills or whatever I wanted to stay back home to. Probably I wanted to practice more. Probably I wanted to prepare for a show. Probably I wanted to read or something. I felt, okay, if I go to a party, what am I going to do? I'll have some good time to sit down. And after that, yeah, there's nothing much to do. But in the meantime, if I spend this 2 hours on myself, it's a selfish thing. But sometimes we need to choose and be able to say no to certain things. It makes more time for yourself.
Yeah.
But now I feel still I say no to a lot of things, but I make some time for myself or ourselves because the things I love to do. Say I love to spend time together, going out and sitting by the river. It doesn't have to be like extravagant. I don't have to spend money sitting in a restaurant. It's not bad, nothing bad about that.
No,
but
and when he says going out, we're talking about we're going to get a bus and we go to the City of London and we walk around and check out a museum or we walk around in the gardens. We're not talking about clubbing or doing anything else like that. It's literally just enjoying the time.
Yeah,
There's awesome places.
It's more about connections sometimes. And even though that's not my cup of tea, anything you want to do, you enjoy doing, do it. But in a way, there should be a limit because you need to come back to your life. Because the time, as you're saying, as Russell said, that time is an important thing and you don't have that much. And that's one of the things, as we discuss and you mentioned many times on the show, that this is one of the things that you can give to someone. You buy someone gift, fine, and you give nicer things, good.
Yeah.
But you are giving, when you're sharing a chunk of your time with someone, that's something you have limited resource of. So when you're sharing that part of your life, it means that you're giving the greatest gift.
Yeah.
So when you're spending time with me or I'm spending time with you, we're giving each other the greatest gift possible. So it's very important.
Yeah.
So I agree. So anyone else has an interesting comment on that?
Like Neha, for example, who's watching. Hi, Neha. We know you're there.
Neha probably there, is it?
Oh, no, it showed up.
Okay.
Neha is watching.
Okay, Neha is watching.
We miss you, Neha. We miss
She's in
you.
the middle of her business transaction.
Oh, my
and
God.
She's just logging in with her headphone on.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's really trying to make her startup come to its best potential.
Yeah.
So I think it's really doing well, and she has done a great job to turn it around. And the business she just started, and I can see within a few months, the entrepreneur and the doctor in the making would come up, and you'll see that. So this is one way when you are enjoying your process and you're trying to make a balance around you. That's the time. I'm watching you guys silently. Yeah. So I'm right. She's at the moment working at the same time, or managing her business.
Yeah.
So that's
a little
great.
shy. Well, I mean, I do want to take a brief moment here because two very, very good friends of ours, Mimo and Neha, we say that a lot of the times, but they actually, because I really believe that if you have a specific goal and you go for that goal, you fight for that goal, that's where you get a lot of happiness too. And these two, they lived very close to us and we spent a lot of time together. They basically took it upon themselves to open up this whole business in the north of England where they've not been before, completely untried, untested, everything. And
also, it's not a business that they have done before.
It's not something they've ever done before. So they basically decided we're going to do this, we plan it, and then in the meantime, Neha is also training to be a doctor and she's having a humongous schedule. And Mimo, on the other hand, he's like flat out being the business entrepreneur and doing the work together with their partner Opu, who moved in with them. And they're making it a success, and it's been tough, and they've been through lots of different things. But the joy and happiness that they're finding, they're doing it correct. It's amazing.
Our urge as humans, as the urge of getting along, and getting ahead. Yeah. So she's doing the work, like she's trying to get along at the same time, keeping it connected, but getting ahead at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
so give it a year or two, he's going to be a major business entrepreneur, which he's working on and he's done his studies on, and she's going to be a doctor. And it's awesome. A true example of people that are not waiting for someone else to give them happiness.
So amazing. I really still have to read once more. Russell Hawk, he says, nowadays, we could buy anything, but we couldn't buy time, and we are not going to live forever. Yeah. Just want to live while I'm alive.
It's a beautiful description.
I mean, it's a very important thing. What he said, just read that again. Yeah. Want to live while I'm alive. Yeah. So it's not just because you're breathing, it doesn't mean that you're alive. Some people can be breathing,
and they're dead as a spirit.
Exactly. They're totally dead because they are not celebrating the fact of being alive,
Yeah.
that you have a life.
Yeah.
Because just imagine when you're gone. There are times when I get a bit sad. When I look around things I'm enjoying, I'm sitting in the middle of something, say, I was in the British Library the other day, and I was in the Horniman Museum in London. I was looking around, I said, oh my God, one day I'll be gone. And there's a tree there where you can write a message and hang it. And I had written it for someone. I said, you're reading it when I'm gone. But when I just contemplated on my mortality, that it can happen anytime, especially we know it's truer now that we have lost so many people during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I feel that how lucky I am to be enjoying these beautiful things around me. And there will be a time when I'm gone. I'll be forgotten totally. I mean, still, there would be videos probably. If you to be around Google, you can find us there online sometimes. So that apart from that, most of the time, and probably our videos will be lost as well, because unless there's any activity going on and suddenly it pops up and it becomes, something viral we have done after our death, that definitely, again, we might be revived. But other than that, I don't see that, the possibilities are there. But it's very important to learn to live and be mindful of the here and now while you can.
Yeah.
Because even when you're alive, sometimes we can be incapacitated just by, say, some kind of handicap. And with old age, you have a lot of ailments and everything. And you'll probably spend the next 10 or 15 or 20 years of your life just lying in bed. I've seen many of the elderly people that happens to them, especially in Bangladesh. I've seen it's like a traditional thing. Some of your grandma, I saw my great-grandfather as well. So thankfully, somehow I think it's their lifestyle. They were so strong until the last day of their lives, to be honest. I didn't see them dying just lying in bed. Okay, yeah, they had to. But even before that, they're so active, doing so many things.
Yeah,
amazing.
It's good. It's a very good example. But I think it also touches upon a very important aspect that you're now covering in the podcast, which is the subject of health. And obviously with that comes a good diet, exercise. And I guess if I look now at if I were to speak to my 20-year-old self 20 years ago or whatever, I'd be like, God, please stop eating this, do that, do that, do that. And I'm thinking, would I have listened? Probably not. But now that I've got my own experience with it, I really, I make an effort, and it feels better, so much better. We're not getting any younger.
I want to enjoy the life I have.
Which
so
you
even
can.
if I live for another 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever that is,
Yeah.
I want to remain active and in good health.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
So thankfully enough, that's what we talk about, the benefit of habit if you build it. Initially, you find it hard. I give you an example because running was one of the things. I go to the gym. From my 8th grade, I started working out with weights and everything. And I kept going. I still do that. But one thing, when I was young, I was a cricketer. I played cricket, high school, college, uni. But later on, I found last few years, running became so hard for me. I literally use the word, it's a very strong word, hate. I used to hate running.
It's not strong. It was very appropriate.
Yeah. And anytime, my leg would start crying. And I started seeing physiotherapists. And I always talked about with my GP, what's going on? Do I need it? I was thinking I would probably need a knee replacement or something. That's funny. But what I didn't realize, probably I needed to do more exercises for my legs, because if you're building a house and it's top heavy and the basement is not strong enough, then definitely it would crumble. So that's what's happening. I'm making this structure on the upper part of the building quite strong, but down there I'm not really working. So you have to work on your legs, because these are the pillars that's holding that building up.
The reason why I'm laughing, I have to interject, is because I think it's really funny, because I hate running.
Yeah.
And I'm mostly leg.
Yeah, you're mostly leg. True. Because she has such long legs that she starts there and this is her and the leg is there. So, it's an interesting picture I'd just given. But the thing is, the moment I started working on my leg muscles, then now I get excited about running. So whenever I used to look around people who are runners, I was like, what's exciting about running?
Yeah.
And now it makes sense.
Yeah.
So thinking about and being mindful about your diet, nutrition, and also the fitness. Physical fitness is important,
Yeah.
I feel.
Could I say something that's quite relevant to this? Because for all of you who think, well, that's really good that he's working out, and of course he's strong and he has it in him. That's great. I am the kind of person that used to be extremely active and then stopped being active for a long time. And I was always like, I'm going to do, I mean, how many times have I told you, I'm going to get up tomorrow and do running and do this and run and blah, blah. And it just doesn't happen, because really it wasn't my actual decision that I had decided to do that. I was sort of trying to make him happy, and you know what, you don't really see the difference, so it doesn't really matter, and you love me how I am, so I need to sort of not really worry, being very kind. And then 24 hours ago, in fact, I tried on a particular outfit that I need to be wearing for a particular important event in 3 weeks. And
You'll know very soon.
And it didn't fit. And oh my God, every single reason that I had in my mind that made, dieting not good and running not good, they just disappeared, because suddenly I had a necessity level. Like, if I don't do this, this is a problem. I will refrain from all the actual swear word repertoire that came out when I found out. But the point is, I started running today, and he was very sweet. He said, bring tissues because you're going to cry. It's going to be painful. And it was. But the thing is, I don't mind anymore. And it just goes to show there is nothing that stops you from doing something healthy other than yourself. And if you don't realize that, if you for some reason you can't make it happen, then you've just not decided. And so the decision, and from a health perspective, you find people like our wonderful friend Yusuf. He recovered from COVID 2 years ago. Then he had cancer, from which he recovered, and he had a huge change of viewpoint on health and lifestyle. Why wait till something happens? I'm not saying that he did. He really didn't. He was always very healthy. But why wait till something happens that becomes the exterior pressure for you to now go, oh, maybe I should stop eating blah because I'm actually killing myself. We don't have to wait till something like this happens. And that was my huge realization.
The importance of routine, I make a point and we talk about this, and I feel, trust me, it's not that I'm coming up with these things. I'm finding out the best practices to maintain good health, and especially since I'm in my 40s too, mid-40. So it's very important.
1 year older than me.
Yeah. It's very important to maintain very good health as we grow older. And to be honest, I feel that I'm in my best shape I had ever been. Because when you're younger, you don't care about this thing.
No.
And you feel that, because there are certain things naturally you can do. You have more energy, your muscle is, somehow even if you don't go to the gym, you can do things, you can make things happen. But if you don't do it over time, because it's like a machine, because there is a thing called chronological age and your biological age. So chronologically, say, I'm 45, but biologically, if I can bring it down. Inside, my whole body can act like my younger self, but it can go the other way around. There are some people who might be 25, but they feel like 40.
So what is the difference between because biological obviously means to do with the body, but what is chronological?
Is the number.
Oh, it's just the number of
so
years.
Your number says 45.
Yeah, 44.
But are you
44.
No, my number is 45. So if you're feeling like, don't worry about that, it's just a number.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, just work on the biological age.
Spiritually, I'm 5.
Okay. So am I sometimes. I mean, things we end up doing sometimes and how we behave in the house. So it's really funny. And sometimes I tell her, do you still love me? Because do you see that she gets to see my funny side? I mean, sometimes I don't show that probably on screen.
No, that's
me.
Probably a good thing.
And it's very important. I'll bring that up for the importance in a relationship. When you can be yourself, whatever you like, be it food, the kind of music, the silly things you want to do, how you talk, you make voices, you scream, whatever. I do silly things all around the house. But if you are capable of doing that with that person you're with, that's the partner you need to have. if you have to pretend with someone, there's a certain limit, because if you have to change yourself but what you're not, and if you have to pretend, that's when it becomes unhealthy, it becomes unbearable, and that's when you feel suffocated.
Yeah.
So it's very important whenever you're thinking about your relationship, because there's a book, how not to die alone, I think. I could be wrong, but you can find that book on Amazon. So she says, it's a Harvard researcher, she says there are 3 kinds of people: romanticizer, maximizer, hesitator.
Wow.
So romanticizer is the one who has a romantic idea about the perfect partner, like who is perfect in every way, beautiful, sexy, and
I did have that idea, and I
knowledgeable.
found you, and it came true.
Like everything. Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
So romanticizer is the person who romanticize about the perfection in a relationship.
Yeah.
Maximizer is the one who thinks my partner, be there is the man or the woman, who has to be this. The man has to be like 6'3", and he has to have this perfect physique, the gym built physique. It has to have the perfect car, perfect job, perfect house. That's the maximizer. Until it happens,
So boring.
I'm gonna dismiss everyone.
Oh my God.
So I'm gonna swipe.
Boring.
You know,
Oh God.
swipe, right, left, and center.
Oh God.
And the hesitator is the one who thinks, I'm not ready yet. I'm working. Once I'm there, once my salary is like, 6-figure income or something, that's when I'm gonna be in that relationship. Until then, I have to keep working.
Yeah.
So thing is, none of them are perfect models, because it's not realistic.
No.
So when you're not being realistic and you're always postponing things for something uncertain, and that is not real. As I was saying, your happiness is equal to or greater than your reality minus your expectation. So when you find your reality expectation is on the same level, or even the expectation is a bit less than your reality, that's when you find the happiness. So it's very important. So people who are watching now, let us know what is your idea of happiness, and how do you find your happiness? What's your best practices? As Russell Hawk said, he values his time, and he makes sure that he lives every day while he's alive. So it's very important. And Neha is doing it as she's following the driving forces, which is like getting along, getting ahead. So at the same time, she's keeping connected with the rest of the world and with the people she loves. As she says, love you guys. So definitely we're in that love list. And also she's making sure that she gets ahead. So you work on it every day, but without comparison to someone else. Say the business she is in, there might be other big business people who has like 10 or 12 of the establishments. Don't worry about that. Whatever I have, I work on that. That's my thing. I'm enough in my own business.
Yeah.
So that's the idea.
Yeah.
So people, if you let us know what is your idea of happiness, we can keep talking. Because why we are stressing so much on happiness? Why?
Because today is the National or International World Happiness Day.
Yeah.
As formulated
I
by
would
the
say
United
international,
Nations.
because when it's world,
International, yeah.
it's
the National World Happiness Day.
that'd be amazing, isn't it? I can't even get my head around.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't any way to get around that. I claim Dutch. Sorry. Well, I think one of the things that's really interesting with being happy, because you were talking about a partner specifically, and the happiness that you can get. One of the first rules, I would almost say, or unspoken rules, because we never spoke about it, but we both wanted a partner for which we would not need to change ourselves. We had worked on ourselves to be the perfect person that we felt we should be. But I don't have to be anything else, do anything else, say anything else. And you're exactly the same, which is so important.
Having said that, it's a very risky proposition in a sense that sometimes we sometimes need to change ourselves.
Yeah,
I mean, for
absolutely.
the betterment.
Yeah.
And they say the happiness comes when you don't expect others to change around you. So say, for example, it means that when you're working on yourself, you improve upon yourself rather than finding sources of your unhappiness in other people around you.
Yeah.
Say you have a partner and you're saying constantly, oh my God, because of her or him, I'm not happy now because she never does it right.
Yeah.
She never puts proper salt in the cooking, or she makes coffee without sugar. It's not enough sugar, things like that. Why are you doing that? I'm not saying it's you.
I'm laughing because those are all things I do.
Okay.
And you're being very nice about them.
No.
I put too much salt. I don't have sugar in my coffee.
No, but that's not the point. Point is...
I know. I'm kidding.
No,
Honestly,
I'm saying that
kidding,
because the moment you find your sources of unhappiness in someone else,
Yeah.
you need to find it, okay, how can I change my perspective towards those things?
Yeah.
If it's more salt or less sugar, how you can make it right? Yeah, make it yourself sometimes. However you like it. The person is doing it out of kindness. That's really nice for you. Why don't you make an effort? You just do it sometimes. Or you make it the way you want and let him or her taste it.
Yeah.
I'm saying just the practice of changing perspective.
Yeah.
Because when you change yourself, so when you don't have to change yourself, it means truly who you are, where you find your happiness. If you're a bit childlike or your childish fantasies, whatever you want to do, you want to sing some silly songs and you want to make some silly voices. I'm talking about myself. So if you can do that, do it.
Yeah.
There's no harm, but there's something which is harming you. Definitely you need to change it. So I'm saying that when you're not harming anyone else around you, harming yourself with those habits or the self you have, then you don't have to change yourself for anyone else.
Yeah.
You'll find that
Yeah.
right person who would accept you the way you are.
And not only that, when you are not liking something that another person does to you, you're basically assigning them in control of your life. And if another person really is doing things to you that are really just not to your liking, well, then you don't have to say, don't do that. You can just end that relationship or friendship right there and then. Because if you are...
That's the interesting idea.
Yeah.
People really scoff at that idea that, okay, why would you end a relation? Why wouldn't you keep on trying? But even there are things when something, I mean, you have to think about the effort you're putting in and what reward are you getting.
Yeah, exactly.
So if the reward, after putting all the hard work, the reward is less than the effort you're putting, it's still higher. You put a lot of effort, little bit of reward. One good day for a month of effort in a relationship, say for example, one good day, your partner is probably smiling, giving you a light smile. Good job. But then after an hour, you get back to the same position. You feel like, okay, I've been trying months. But then again, some people I've known as well, around me and in my life as well, when they would be like, I've been trying. They tried for 3 hours. And they're like, I've been trying to change. Why didn't you get it?
And they were yelling at you while they're saying it, right?
Yeah. So the thing is that it's not...
Poor Ershad.
No, I mean, I'm not talking about just partners.
No, I get it.
Just
I get
people
it.
I work with, colleagues, anything,
for sure.
or friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's a funny thing.
Yeah.
And change, you'll feel that. It's a comparison you do. You don't ask. You don't wait for people's approval.
Yeah.
You just look, okay, I acted this way. And the main idea is not to expect others to change.
Yeah.
Change yourself. That's the main idea. Shoaib Manik. Hi, dear. Oh, Manik from Chittagong, my friend. Okay, he joined.
Nice.
And he was there when I had a big conference of all the friends who were joining that day, remember?
Oh, yes.
So he was there as well.
Oh,
so
yes.
Manik, how are you? And Manik, it's a World Happiness Day. So Happiness Day to you. Happy Happiness Day. So hope you are doing very good. You're happy. And also I'm asking whoever is joining, what's your idea of happiness? How do you find your happiness? What do you do? Probably it could be a long drag on a cigarette. I mean, it's up to you.
If it's someone's
if that's how you find your happiness. Like after a hard day's work, you sit down. And that's what I've seen my dad doing. I mean, he would come and there's a place in the living room that he had. He would put the ashtray. He would have that sofa he would sit on. And he would just contemplate and smoke. So
I can totally see him do that.
That was
I
his
can
moment
totally
of happiness.
see him do that.
So if that's your moment of happiness, there's no harm in it. But let us know, I mean, from a deeper point of view, if it's possible, like Russell shared, it's time you shared that wherever you are and living in the here and now, idea of gratitude,
Yeah.
kritogota. So whatever you have and the sense that you're enough.
Yeah.
So it can be many things. So it's nice to see, like for me, even this gratitude that people are joining and caring to say hi, giving me a moment of their life just to type hi dear.
Yeah.
It's their time they're giving me.
Yeah,
And
it's
people
true.
who are watching, I can see a constant number who are watching the show.
It's great.
And later on, the views we see, like say 1,000 people watched it, 2,000 people watched it. So they had given their time, even if they watched it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They'd given 5 minutes of their life to watch the show or whatever we had to say. Trust me, there's nothing that I want to gain out of that, but I have a bigger plan with this whole project of knowing who you are, where I can make it bigger in a sense that I can reach out to more people to help them understand the idea of happiness, because it's very hard. When we were growing up in the 80s, 90s, the idea was very simple. There's only one TV channel. There's no smartphone. There's no social media. There wasn't even internet when I was growing up, same
No.
as you. So, but we would just wait for this one weekly drama that would come on the national television. There's no satellite channels or anything. So our happiness was, okay, I would wait for 4 o'clock in the afternoon. My mom wouldn't let me go down because the sun is still quite high and it's hot. So she would say, wait until 4:30 or 5 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, if it's 5:30, then the sun would set by 6. Then I have 1 hour. So sometimes I would just, because she would keep the key with her, the door, key to the main door. I would sometimes steal it. But then I figured out a way how to jump from the first floor. So I used to jump from the first floor balcony, and then I would go there, and she's sleeping. She's thinking, okay, Tanvir is still at home and he hasn't gone down. But by the time I started playing full-fledged cricket downstairs. So that was my happiness.
Yeah.
So whenever I could do those things, my happiness was Wednesday night watching MacGyver, that show. Many of you could relate to that. 18,
Yeah.
The Fall Guy,
Yeah.
or what was that?
Bionic Woman,
Bionic Man,
Superman,
Bionic
Superwoman, Hulk.
Spider-Man cartoons, or the cartoons at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Many
Yeah.
people relate to me.
Yeah.
So the thing is that nowadays we have we have choice paralysis, or a lot of decisions to take every few seconds. You want to, I mean, it happens to me sometimes. I don't keep my phone near me these days, so you can't get hold of me most of the time.
Almost
She
every
calls
time
me,
I try to call him and I'm not at home,
the phone is
he's
on
not
silent,
answering.
and then she calls me, she can't get hold of me, because I think good practice for me is that I read a lot, I listen to a lot of other things, and I'm busy with my own things. But the moment I pick up my phone to look at something, suddenly, because I haven't checked my phone, I see on social media there's this notification, this email. Totally, I forget why I took the phone in my hand for the first place.
Esther
What to
called
check.
5 times.
Yeah, in the meantime, then I find out, and it's probably half an hour ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the practices. So so these days it's very important to be mindful about the happiness, because there's so many ways of comparing yourself constantly, what other people are doing. Like, okay, someone probably is thinking about starting a podcast or some kind of show on YouTube or anywhere. And you see this show, you're like, oh my God, they have already started it. And what am I doing? I haven't started yet. That kind of comparison. You just started. And without thinking, even if I've started, as I say all the time, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. I am, because I've been working on this for a while. So if you haven't, no harm in it. Start now, then someone else would learn. And the idea is to just spread, I would say, the greatness. People, when you become a leader, when you start making people, showing them the directions to their own greatness and finding their own potential. And this is what I want to be. When you empower people around you, say, when I am doing this talk on YouTube or podcast or Apple Podcast, wherever it is, I'm happy to show, happy to tell people how to do that. If you want to do that, do that. Take over and take it from there. That's the idea of this podcast.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own niche. They'll find their own way no matter what. So I'll find mine as well. And there's no insecurity about it. You want to start it, do it. But the main idea of knowing who you are is to spread that confidence in you, and make you aware of your self-worth, make you aware of your own potential. That's all it is. And this is where I want to just be able to spread this message to more people. This is why this channel is around. Oh my God.
This is nice. So, hello, Eva. Thank you for watching. Okay, so I actually want to acknowledge her quickly because my sister finds great happiness spending time with her kids. We're talking about happiness because it's International Happiness Day. And she actually arranged through this huge charity that she's running a massive movement through the... Hi.
By the way, just quick... Ahmed Shoaib Manik said, my happiness is when I spend time with my sons.
Yes.
We'll come back to that,
We will
Manik.
come back to that.
Hold that thought.
So I wanted to actually acknowledge Eva because we were talking about happiness and doing things that help other people. And she's amazing. She arranged for a huge drive to collect toys and clothes for people in Ukraine who are currently without anything. And they got the equivalent of like 5 shipping containers worth of stuff that they had huge people change to fill them all up and get them all shipped out. And local volunteers, many of them helped. For 3 weeks long, she was flat out. While she has 4 kids and they're all going to different schools, and she has an amazing schedule that she runs. Oh, it was 12 vans and a lorry of donations. Okay, good. So that was the correct figure. I'm sorry, 4 shipping containers. It's about the same. Anyway, so she's taken it upon herself to do that, and it's a really good example.
Where did you come with that figure?
Because I saw a photograph of a shipping container, and then I saw another photograph, so I got confused. So there we go. But
more photos, Eva. You got the
we
point.
want more pictures.
Yeah, more pictures. Then she might say like 12 shipping containers if you post that same picture 12 times.
Oh, that is funny. But no, they basically did it, and it's she started a Facebook group many years ago, and it started off with just a few mums. It was the East Grinstead Mums Facebook page, and it was a few mothers who worked together and they did babysitting for each other. This expanded to thousands and thousands and thousands of mothers who are helping each other in the local community. It's since expanded to other towns who now have their own mothers Facebook page, and she got recognized by the mayor several times. Every year she does a huge fundraiser for Christmas for homeless people.
Can we interrupt you
Yes.
and have the celebrity
Eva, let's
us.
call, man.
That's the number. All you have to do is 07308192908
and tell us what you do.
Tell us what you have done.
Yeah, and you can also acknowledge your mother's Facebook page.
Because main thing is that you can inspire some other people as well who want to do something, and probably they're thinking how to do that, but how you made it happen yourself, being just along with some other moms, because it's what's it called?
Well, it's now called the East Grinstead Mothers and Friends because it's
a charity now.
And she's saying, I'm putting the kids to bed, kiss, but we'll call another day. Not a problem. But thank you
I hope we didn't put you off.
Sorry.
You can always tune in. You can always silently watch us.
Yeah, we won't call you out, but
we
thank
won't push
you.
It's fine. So yeah, good night to the kids, and also definitely, if you can, we are here every Sunday at 6 o'clock live.
We would love to hear your story. And
it'll be inspirational for many people around you.
Yeah, and all of our listeners.
That's the main idea of Knowing Who You Are.
Absolutely. Cool. So now to get back to the comment that you got there.
Yeah, so Manik said, my happiness is when I spend time with my sons. It's very important. That's connectivity.
Yeah.
So when you spend time and build that connections with the people you care about, that's very important. So I have you, and I make sure that the connections, be it your relationship, be it your parents, be it your brothers, be it your siblings, like which you do every Sunday, you make a point that you go to
I see my family,
your parents,
or
your
my
sister, your
my brother. It's
so
amazing.
that's very important.
Yeah, it is.
The connection. As I was saying, the driving force is getting along and getting ahead.
Yeah.
So getting ahead, enjoy the process, the journey of life when you're trying to improve upon whatever you are today. So you are a little bit better than you yesterday. At the same time, getting along with the people who are important. So the need for connection is very important as humans.
Yeah. We have 2 messages here. One in Bangla, if you could translate. It says...
Oh.
Yeah, from Abdul Muttalib.
Oh, Abdul Muttalib Mazumdar Liton.
Wow.
He's one of my uncles, my mom and dad's their friend.
Okay.
So it's Shubho Kamona Ubhoyer Jonno. So it's like best wishes for both of us.
That's nice. Thank you very much.
And
then a lovely
Sherry.
message from Sherry. She's saying, what a great natural podcast. Love it. Hey, thank you.
Sherry. And Sherry's in Australia.
Oh, wow.
I've known her. She's Australian as
Yes.
well. Yeah, Sherry's
Yeah,
Australian.
you worked with her, right?
Yeah, I work with her.
Yeah.
And amazing. She's a coach herself. And she's in
Nice.
Australia at the moment. They have this
Awesome.
amazing place in France. And both of them, I mean, her daughter is a coach as well, fitness coach.
Oh, I've seen videos
Yeah.
of her. Yeah. Awesome.
And Ian, her husband,
Yeah.
amazing guy. I mean, they have this approach to life, which is very
Yeah.
inspirational.
Yeah.
So, Sherry, if you are awake, I don't know, it probably, I don't know if it's too early in the morning or what's the time in
Yeah, it
Australia?
would be very early
Or
right now.
are you in Australia or in London? I don't know. So, Sherry, you can give us a call and let us know, because she had that approach all along, even before she became a coach. But definitely she had that inclination towards that kind of a practice. So
Right.
that's where she is.
Well, just so you know, we're celebrating International Happiness Day, which was formulated by the United Nations 10 years ago. And we picked up on this. So that's been our subject and our topic for today. Oh, she's in France. She says, I arrived back in France a week ago. Okay, good. So you're 1 hour ahead of us.
Okay.
Nice.
So I have
Vive la
to
France.
invite Sherry. Yeah. Say that, sorry, again.
Vive la France.
Oh, I don't know. She would know.
Hooray for France.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Sherry, probably I was thinking about, and I requested her to be on the podcast, Knowing Who You Are, because she's a life coach. So, but it didn't happen because of the time we have. And it's an interesting practice that Sherry does. She stops working after 6 o'clock in the evening, which is a
Wow.
very good thing.
Yeah, that
I
is a
mean,
good
this is
thing.
something I'm trying to implement in my life, but
Yeah.
not 6 o'clock probably,
Yeah.
but 8:30. Because
Yeah.
there was a time I feel that I have to start working the moment I get up, and I have to keep going until it's time for me to go to bed. Whether it's reading, journaling,
Yeah.
and watching things, writing, working on the projects that I'm doing here in the studio and my other projects as well. But I realize, what am I doing? I have to stop at some point to give some time, to spend time with you.
Well, it didn't help that I had the exact same viewpoint and I was doing the exact same thing. So we
Yeah.
were both just working in 2 rooms next to each other. And I remember at some point I texted him, so it's like 11 o'clock at night. So should we go to bed? Much love, the girl next door. It was funny, but
Yeah.
I realized that unless we decide on a time, if I say to you, hey, come and get me, you won't, and I will totally not even track. I'll just keep going.
But I'm so used to these kind of things because over the years, from my childhood, I started doing so many things together, say reading, writing, practicing guitar, practicing music. So I have to keep on doing those things at the same time. And now workload would come as we grow up and we take on different responsibilities. So it feels like never ending, but I have to learn. There's an amazing book, 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Berkman. People can check that book out, where he says that you have to, 4,000 weeks is the lifespan, basically.
Oh,
That's how long we live.
Right.
It's
Oh,
very
no.
morbid, I know.
wow.
But the thing is, if you try, you have to accept that possibility that you'll never get everything done.
Right.
So you have to be able to find that happiness or the satisfaction that whatever I have done is enough.
Right.
And give yourself the break.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, that's what I have seen growing up back in the 80s, 90s, that our parents, they had their time when the friends would get together. Yeah, definitely there were fewer distractions all around them. And not that our parents are busy on their Facebook or TikTok, but the thing is, now they feel lonely in a sense that everyone is busy probably around them. So they have to spend time watching TV or speaking with each other.
Yeah.
Because the circle they had, many of the circles they picked up even late in their life on Facebook. I see many of my dad's friends are sending me WhatsApp messages, Messenger, Facebook. They're very active, unlike my parents. But so they're missing out on that. But there was a time back in the 80s, 90s where I saw my parents, literally, they had the time in the evening. They would get together, play cards, watch movies. My mom would cook. A lot of it was a common practice that, I don't know, it was very interesting. People who are not from South Asia, we never had seen that you have to make appointments to come to anyone's house. You just rock up and you just knock on the door. They open the door. They're always separate food storage. So you always have food you buy separately for guests that you serve them when they turn up. It could be biscuits, snacks, and you don't mind cooking even the turn up at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night, because the dinner always happens around 10:30, 11 o'clock. So it's a different routine. And people in the
true.
South Asia, they would know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's something I had to adjust because you need to make sure people have their own routines, own schedules. So that's why even though they say Scandinavian people are really happy, they're one of the happiest nations. But the thing is that I feel that people in Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, probably, they used to be quite happy. But I'm saying used to be because they're catching up with this Western practice. And when you catch up and when you are not that, actually, when you're trying to imitate someone, you're somewhere in the middle, in the transitional period. See, you're confused. So that's what I see. People are neither Western nor Eastern. So that's a hard practice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, Sherry just sent in a message saying, making the decision a few years ago that I start work at 10 a.m. and finish at 6 p.m. 4 days a week actually has me more focused and I get more done. 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. is my happiness me time. Yeah, that's a nice time. Yeah, I mean, you've tried to do that as well. We haven't quite made 6 a.m. yet, but we've been getting up early. And you normally start reading right away.
I get up at 5:30 to 6 a.m. anyway.
Yeah.
The problem is that since I never end up going to bed by 10:30, so I have to take the time to sleep until 7:30. But it's
But we've
lovely.
recently done it. We've actually gone to bed earlier, and we both were like, wow, we feel so healthy. It's so refreshing.
No, it's very important because this 4 hours she's getting is totally
Yeah.
undistracted, and it's amazing. And the energy you get, because we have 3 different phases, phase 1, 2, 3. That's phase 1 when you try to do all the hard things, even new skills you want to pick up, or say spending time by yourself and with yourself. Probably some people do journal. I definitely do journals twice. In the morning. I picked it up from Tim Ferriss. I mean, he mentioned on one of his podcasts, but it was not by him. It was another psychologist. Another writer, another author. I forgot her book's name. She had said that it's like a spiritual windshield wiper. So whatever you don't feel good about, just write about that without any editing. You don't have to make it like proper journal or anything. Just write down, put it down.
Makes sense.
Get it out of your system.
Yeah.
But at night, before going to bed, I do journal again, where I just take account of the whole day, whatever I have done, spending, and I try to find the source of things, like what made me unhappy, what I'm not happy about, what I have to do. But main thing, I want to finish on a high note, that I write about the things I'm grateful about, I'm happy about, the things that are great in my life. Because when you're going to bed, your mind has this loop. This happy loop you have from all the gratitude you have.
Yeah.
So it's a great practice that Sherry has from 6 to 10 in the morning, which she does, her happiness me time.
Yeah.
So Sherry, what is happiness according to you? We've been talking about happiness. If you could share with us, that'd be great.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Eva said, I like my sleep. Yes. And that's important. And Sherry actually answers, yes, you need your sleep. Reduce the night, increases your morning.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very true. But then saying that, Eva, you've got an early start always. You always start very early with your kids. So that's you've got a lot of work.
No, it's very important. I mean, sleep, you value it more. Most of the people, as you grow older, which I value more and more, the things I could get by with 4 hours sleep back to back for a couple of days, and I could still be okay, operational.
Yeah.
I could be a bit grumpy, which I didn't realize at the time. People around me, I would misbehave with them, and I would be angry. I would find fault with them rather than thinking that what I am doing. I wouldn't think that, okay, this is not how I should talk. This is not how I should respond. But I feel sorry now when I look back. I don't really hold that regret in me, but every time those pictures come to my mind, I feel that there's someone coming to you with a smile, saying something, and I'm suddenly responding in a very bad way because I didn't sleep enough. My body is not responding properly. I didn't have that knowledge or the wisdom to know that my body needs to rest more.
Yeah.
So I that's the things that you make amends. That's how you keep on improving upon yourself, the things that you realize, rather than trying to change people around you, change yourself. That's what I've been doing. It's a process.
Yeah.
I'm in that journey.
Yeah.
I'll keep on doing it.
Yeah. There's a message here in Bangla, and I would like you to read it.
Yeah. And Manik says, Bondhu Ershad Alamgir bhabi সম্পর্কে জানতে চায় এত হাসি খুশি মেয়ে কই পাইলি ওকে আমার খুব পছন্দ হয়েছে. Very funny things. Thank you, Manik. Thank you. So Manik is saying, Ershad Alamgir, which is me, he needs to know, or he wants to know about Bhabi. You know Bhabi? You know Bhabi. Come on.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bhabi is sister-in-law. So
Yeah,
my
yes.
friend is talking about Esther.
Okay.
So he wants to know about you. And how could you find someone so happy and always very, yeah. So that's very sweet, yeah.
Oh, that's really nice.
Okay, আমার খুব পছন্দ হয়েছে. I really have found her. I'm really liking her. That's the. You're blushing, by the way. So,
That's really nice.
but the thing is, Shoaib and Manik, I would say, I realized a few years back, when you work on yourself accordingly, the things that you want in your life, and you prepare yourself for that rather than trying to find that person ready-made for yourself. When you prepare yourself, you get to that place where you want to be and what you want your partner to be, you attract that person towards you. And that's how exactly it happened. I didn't have to look for her. It just happened, to be honest. I've been thinking,
Same
okay,
for me, yeah.
have I worked enough? Where's that person? I haven't found.
Where is she?
Yeah, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. So I was waiting on that. And then suddenly she popped up. I mean, it happened
Out of
because
nowhere.
out of nowhere through my work when I
Yeah.
was going through my Royal Navy process and everything.
Yeah.
But-
Well, and to be honest, for me, it was exactly the same thing. Because I think you brought up a very good point in the beginning. It's like, so you can hope for this amazing person that is perfect for you, and you demand that this person be perfect. What right do you have as a person to demand that if you're not the best version of yourself?
Exactly.
And so we both happened to be in a crossroads in our lives where we wanted a certain thing, but we knew that that was never going to happen through someone else's action. It was going to be us that would make us the best version that we were. And then we happened to meet at a completely unusual way. Not unusual, it was just an off chance. And it was one of those things, had I not asked you, it was an online meeting where I said, oh, this guy's a musician. I like your guitars. And that's how we started talking. And that was it. Had I not asked that, we probably would have never even we even met. It was.
That's another point about fear. We talk about that most of the time we hold back the plans we have, the things we want to do.
Yeah.
We're always scared. What if, what's going to happen? So that's a good thing. I thank you for that.
No, and we were really good friends before we even became a couple. We were just really good friends because there was so much we had in common when it came to music and everything else. So anyway.
No, I mean, talking about, I was talking today about that book of this Harvard researcher who talked about this, what you mentioned.
Yeah.
3 kinds of people when we out looking for partners or love. So it's romanticizer, maximizer, hesitator.
Well, I wanted tall, dark, and handsome.
You were a romanticizer and maximizer. Yeah, but you weren't a hesitator, definitely.
I was
because
not.
you reached out.
Oh, no, I didn't. It's like, hey, you, I like you.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a hesitator in a sense, thinking that, I'm not ready yet. My main goal was, whatever I want in life or the person, I had a clear idea about what kind of people I like. I don't like fakeness, and I don't like where I have to act fake as well. So I wanted someone who would accept me with all my shortcomings.
There are none.
Oh, thank you. You're very nice. But definitely, we all have something here and there we could improve up. And so I was thinking, I'll keep on working on the things. And thank God I realized where I lack. And one thing is that wherever you lack, sometimes we really concentrate on that one too much rather than concentrating on our strength. When we do that, that's the recipe for success anyway.
Yeah.
But the thing is that when you are a romanticizer, you're thinking all the time, okay, there's always a best partner somewhere who has all the good qualities and there's no shortcoming. That's a romanticizer. That's unrealistic. You never end up being happy because whoever you find, you're never happy with that person because you are romanticizing about the perfection. No one is perfect. And then when there's a maximizer who's like, okay, my partner has to be this, and she has to have this best position at work, and she's to look like that, and everything has to
It's
be
the worst
like
possible
that's
thing, yeah.
you maximizing all the expectation.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
There's no one like that.
Yeah.
Even the most beautiful person you'll find, I'm sure, I've seen it. What happens within a week or within a couple of hours, or even sometimes when they open their mouth, you're like, oh my God, stay away from me. And hesitator is the one when you feel that you're not ready yet,
Yeah.
and you don't make that move.
Yeah.
You don't feel like these are the ways. So Manik, to answer your question in a long-winded way, so that, when you're ready, you find that person, I think.
Yeah, well, he sent a really nice message after that, and he says, "I wish all the good things in your life."
Thank you,
really
Manik.
nice.
Very nice of you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what good friends are for.
Yeah.
You know, when they become happy, that's the way of the sharing and spreading the happiness.
Yeah.
And when you share, it's one of the way of, say he's in service as well. How he's doing it, he's just spreading this happiness.
Yeah.
And he's just happy to see someone. It's not about. Some people, he's not comparing, he's not being jealous.
Yeah, he's just
being
being really
happy.
nice. It's wonderful.
Sherry
says, happiness for me is only doing things that bring me joy during my me time. This allows all the other stuff to just flow past me during the day. Laughing at myself allows others to laugh at themselves, then we laugh together. No judgments. So important. Just joy. That to me is real happiness. The energy that brings when people are together, just allowing us to be. Oh, turns out, just allowing us to be. 1 second, I'm going to read here the rest. I'm going to read this part again. So allows others to laugh at themselves when we laugh together, no judgment, just joy. That to me is real happiness, the energy that brings when people are together, just allowing us to be. Right, okay, yes, I get it.
I mean, it's an interesting thing, and great leaders, they don't do, they just be.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things, you just exist, and you keep on letting everyone occupy their place in the world. You let them enjoy their self-worth rather than, when we judge people, that's the worst thing. When we judge people based on, what they do, where they come from, how they speak, how they look, and things like that. I mean, I have known Sherry the moment I've seen at work, first time when we met, even though at the time we didn't have any interaction through work, but I could tell this person looks happy.
Right.
I mean, there's some quality, and when I learned that she's practicing life coach, I said, okay, she's the perfect person for that, because you have to live that. Whatever you believe in, unless you practice it or it's natural to you, you can never be successful in that. And when I saw that Sherry is a life coach now, I said, okay, it makes proper sense, because I still remember the day I saw her. I asked one of my colleagues, who's that person? And she was our event manager at the time. And I said, and she was happy talking to everyone, spreading happiness with her smile. It's not about, okay, I'm this and trying to be someone. Just being herself.
That's great.
So it's really true, and she lives
by that as well.
That quality.
Well, we just have another message here from Hansa. Hi, Hansa. Hansa again is another lady who actually practices what she preaches. She writes
has her own company.
She has her own company,
spreading this happiness and helping people.
Yeah, exactly. And she just said here, loving the podcast, warm and genuine. Thank you, Hansa. Well, she actually did. She wrote some children's books, which my mom actually illustrated, and I had the joy to do the coloring of that as well, which is really nice. And they're wonderful to help kids find peace within themselves through
Hansa
different
is a
methods.
life coach herself, by the way.
Exactly. We're having some amazing people today.
Hansa, nice to see you, Hansa. So Hansa is an author. She's a life coach herself. She has her own organization. And I've done an interview with Hansa, so you can
really
check that on KnowingWhoYouAre.blog or Knowing Who You Are, the YouTube channel. Also on Apple Podcast, I have that interview with Hansa, so you can listen to that.
Really worthwhile. Some really lovely gems.
Very productive, Hansa.
Yeah, wonderful.
Keeps writing books. So she writes stories for children books. But she has written books for adults as well, non-fiction. But she tells you a story, but she wraps the message with the story. But inside, when you read the story, you know that, because sometimes when you give advice to young children about do this and this is the best way, this is the best policy,
they'll be like, nah.
And they won't even get it sometimes.
Exactly.
But
not
when
cool.
you're reading something and you're enjoying it at the same time, okay, life can be like this. This is what how we should behave. This is what it should be like. Automatically, it gets, in your subconscious mind, the message gets inculcated. So that's very important.
Oh, Sherry also said, yes, I am who I am. You are who you are. Let's love who we are. Share who you are. Do not try to be someone else. True. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's true.
Sherry, this is what I have believed all my life. Even when these practices weren't quite predominant now. I mean, these messages all over the internet, every Instagram, you have some quotation by someone. And sometimes this toxic positivity has become too much for people, because sometimes when it's coming from someone who's not really practicing it, if you see them, then it becomes toxic. And every time when we say that, no, you're okay, you can do it, don't worry about it, when we don't even acknowledge the pain or the suffering they're going through, because we all go through, we have our ups and downs. So I had started feeling this one, because my whole trajectory of my career path, what I chose to study and what I've done with my life, everything is just, I did it. At the time, many people weren't happy. My family members, my parents were thinking, oh my God, you were supposed to be a lawyer, you're not practicing. I remember one of my cousins were asking me, so you haven't become a barrister? You're supposed to be a barrister. Didn't you finish your study? I said, well, I'm doing this and I'm happy with this. And I have, at the age, in my 40s, I decided to go back to uni for my second degree in music technology, because I'm a musician. And I was studying, sitting in the same class with students as young as 17, 18, 19.
Ooh.
So
Brave.
And initially they were quite, it's a big gap. And some of them, they were thinking, okay, he's age of my dad. But the thing is, we became good friends. And I have some good friends from that age group now, 21, 22.
Yeah.
And we don't even feel when we're in the same room.
It's true.
We just do things, we talk, we chat. And one of my friends
He was here today, and we all look like we're 21.
Yeah. So what I have learned, I learned that whatever I feel like, there's no shame in just being myself. And if that's what I want to enjoy, I have this one share in my life that I can live on my own. And I have just one go at it. And I just want to live it my own terms.
Yeah.
So if I don't do that, it'll be a loss and I'll be missing out on that. I'm so happy I made those decisions.
Yeah.
I left the job I wasn't enjoying, because I know I could do more.
Yeah.
And I had just chosen. And even I didn't know where I'm going, what I'm doing. I just took the leap of faith. The thing is that when you do that, the net keeps popping up out of nowhere.
Yeah, it does.
And I learned in the last few years, don't worry about anything. You want to do your things, follow your heart, do it. It will happen and you'll find a way. There's always a way. So I'm really happy for the support that I had from people around me. Even though to start with, I had to go through many sacrifices, losses. I lost relations. Many things happened because people weren't getting the idea that how can someone from a set path choose to do something. But I had to struggle with that idea for 7 years when I had to decide that whether I want to do it or not. And it's a funny story. It came up in the newspaper as well, in the local newspaper at Kingston. And through my university, I had posted my story there. When I was having a chance encounter on a tube, when the CEO of that company, he was going to a football match. So normally he drives, but on that day he was on a tube. I was taking the tube to go home. We were sitting next to each other. And he was telling me, I'm going to watch the football match. I said, okay. So he was saying, Ershad, I heard that you're a musician and you worked in the media, TV, television. So you were a producer. So what are you doing about that? Why are you working at this job? Even though I was holding a position there and I was learning, I was climbing up the ladder, as they say. So, but the thing is, he asked me, when are you going to do that? And I said, okay, this year I'm doing this. In 2 years' time, that will happen. And that's when I'm going to do that. Only thing he said, and I knew about this, but I needed some reinforcement by someone else. And he said, Ershad, the time is now. There's never going to be a better time. You'll never have that time. All the plans you have, it will never happen. Do it now. Straight away, that hit me. I went home that night, fine. I couldn't sleep. I woke up at 3 o'clock or 3:30 in the morning. I started applying for the courses that I wanted to go for. Because I studied law, I did my master's, I did practice for a few years, but that's something I never enjoyed. And that happened accidentally. But I think whatever I learned during the time, I can apply now in different ways in my life. So nothing you go through, nothing you learn is wasted. But then at 3 to 3:30 in the morning, I started applying in the universities I want to go to. The admissions closed. I started applying for the waiting list. And some of the uni got back and 3 uni accepted me. I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. And yeah, I applied, I got accepted, I got the offers and everything. When it worked out, I said, okay, it's time for me to say goodbye to my work. And I just started a new life. I finished my degree. Now I am pursuing a degree, a master's in, this is my second or third master's, by the way, in neuroscience. Because I want to help people. I want to know more about mind. So that's what I want to do. And also, I have joined the Royal Navy last year. So everything is going on in my own way. So let's get back to the messages. A lot of messages, interesting. And Sherry, I see when Sherry writes something, I get excited. I said, okay, there's another gem coming.
Yeah.
So Shoaib said, first of all, trust me, both of you together looks great. I enjoyed your live performance a lot. In fact, becoming a big fan of yours. Shoaib,
hey, thank you.
It's such a great message and means a lot. And just the acknowledgement, if we can share some kind of happiness, especially in the World Happiness Day today, 20th of March every year.
Yeah.
So we are celebrating it, and that's what the show is all about. And if we could spread some kind of happiness, some positivity in your life, and just to make you think that life can be beautiful, we are happy to do that.
Yeah.
And this is what we are all the time, to be honest with you. And I'm happy to find that in her when there's no drama. And if I choose to be happy and smiling, that's all I can be. If I sometimes choose to be totally silent, I don't have to tell her that she won't really get grumpy. She'll try to understand why is he silent. And she also, now she has learned that I'm thinking about something. She just let me be. So
I normally
I'm
say
really
taka for your thought.
Yeah, taka is the currency in Bangladesh, which is normally people say the penny for your thought.
Yeah,
she would say taka.
So Sherry's saying, wonderful. Our path is ours. When we follow others' path, there's often so many obstacles to climb over. Our path really is simple, often not easy, but always simple. By the way, I'm also a laughter leader. Hope you share a laughter session with you guys one day soon. Children, teens, parents, stressed out executives, students, grandparents, all join in laughter sessions. Sounds awesome. I love that.
She's a laughter leader.
A laughter
it's amazing.
leader.
I didn't know even something like that existed.
Sounds awesome.
So Sherry, Sherry, I don't know where you are or if you're in the middle of something, but you can always call us using the WhatsApp. So you can let us know, but we can discuss live on the show, because on this show we have the facilities so everyone can hear you. So you can give us a call and we can talk about it, because it's really a lovely thing. Laughter leader. Oh my God. It's like cheerleader. Same thing, I think. Isn't it?
Yeah,
kind of. Cheerleader does a different thing. But
explain.
Please, we'd like to know more. So if you are free now, give us a call and we'll talk about it. I mean, that's definitely something to learn from. And I would like to know more about this one, definitely. I would do a bit of research tonight. Laughter leader is really amazing. So, because there is a practice. People do that. Have you seen it? I mean, I've seen it in India.
Yeah.
There in parks, there's a certain people of certain age group, but it's not really limited to any age group. Anyone can do that. But I've seen that they do it. They just get together and they just laugh.
Yeah, I've seen it. I saw it in Italy.
I could be totally wrong. Sherry might be laughing at me, saying,
She'll be
Ershad,
like, what are you talking about?
That's not how you do that. So please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I've seen it. It's a documentary or something that in India they're doing it. It's in Kolkata.
Wow.
Or Kolkata, which used to be Calcutta. So they just get together, and in the park they get together, huddle around. They're like,
that's crazy.
It's making me laugh. So just amazing. Even when you practice, it comes automatically, because it's a neuroscientifically done. Your mind, when it gets the message, it knows, okay, Ershad is trying to laugh, make him laugh.
Yeah.
It tickles me.
But it's something that David said last week. There's this friend of ours who's, he's got like, God knows how many, is it Bodia? The
David
TikTok,
Boido, okay.
Boido. Is it Boido? So he's on TikTok and he makes these 30-second really funny videos. I mean, they're just funny. And he actually explained in last week's conversation that it was basically, when you laugh, even if you fake laughing at the beginning, it sends a message to your mind, basically saying like your body is enjoying something.
Yeah.
It sends a good something to your mind, and then it's like, the body is happy, ha ha ha, and it actually forces it. Oh, here we go.
Sherry's saying I'm correct, but
I'll call next week. I'll currently have you have COVID? Your voice is gone. Oh my God. Oh God. And she said, you're correct in what you were saying. So good.
Well,
first of all, get better.
You'll pull through, because I have one person sitting next to me who had COVID.
Yeah.
Especially when we are traveling back from Bangladesh.
Oh my
All
God.
50 days, nothing happened. We crossed the border. We came to
Back
England.
in England.
England.
I mean, in Bangladesh, where social distancing is physically impossible, we were in and out of hospitals for, his father for a long time. And we were exposed to every possible situation that could get you COVID, and I didn't get it. And then in the airplane, because obviously we were negative when we flew, I arrived in England and I got it 2 days afterwards.
Yeah.
In the quarantine
in the
hotel.
hotel quarantine, you have to check if you have COVID. So
Yeah.
we found I'm negative, she's positive.
Yeah.
And
16 days we were in that
she
hotel.
got really worried. Her face was something, I mean, she was almost about to cry. And I thought that we have to do kind of separate ourselves from each other. So I put 3 pillows in between on the bed.
He's like, he put his cup and his things all on the other side, of the room. And he's like trying to distance himself from me when we're stuck in the same room.
At least one person should be able to take care of the other who's going through this pain, suffering, whatever.
Oh, God.
You just had temperature, and thankfully we had 2 vaccines by then.
Yeah.
Right?
No, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we had
2.
we had one vaccine at the time.
There's a third one, isn't it? We took
No,
booster
the second one.
Yeah.
You had 2.
Yeah.
I only had 1. And so, but at the same time, I had every single symptom, but in a very mild version. But I had them all at the same time, which was really rough. And especially since the food in the hotel was amazing, we had this great food. I couldn't smell or taste
getting back to
anything.
this, so for 2 days,
Yeah.
I managed to keep myself a bit separated from her. I mean, in the same room with some pillows. That's all the wall I had to separate myself. But then
I got so upset.
she got so upset. She was like, oh, you know what? And she started giving me some ideas, some logic, and to justify the situation. She says, look, we are confined within 4 walls in the same room. How come you be safe? Even though whatever you try, you keep your cups separate. Even we are lying on the same bed, with pillows in between. And then breathing the same air, and we can't leave the room. I said, yeah, fine, let's die together. and and I decided, okay, if you're dying, there's no harm in it.
You never told me that.
No, I said, okay.
I thought we'll just be sick together, but I didn't think we were going to die
No,
together.
I said, if it's happening, okay. At least let's enjoy the last couple of days of our lives,
At least we're comfortable and we're eating nice food.
Yeah.
We watched so many movies, but we did a lot of work in there as well. We read a lot. Our
started the podcast
our
during
first
that
podcast
time.
was
Yeah.
there. That was the first time we did it live. Oh, and Sherry says, your mind doesn't know the difference between real or fake laughter. The benefits are the same. That's awesome.
That's how you do visualization.
Right. Got it.
So when you
Yeah.
see yourself, you visualize, okay, say for example, you want to start a business, you're running it, right? You don't think, I will. You tell, I'm running the business.
Uh-huh.
And you see yourself every time, literally, you're running the business. What are the daily, day-to-day work you're doing? Say, for example, you need to sit on the chair at the table and you're in front of the computer, okay, creating the invoice probably, buying your products or whatever your business involves. So you sit there, you do it, you visualize, take the time. And it works.
Right.
Because your mind is not that smart, by the way. I mean, it acts on the, say, different signals. So you give that signal, it knows. And when you keep on thinking the negative things all day, so it thinks that, okay, this person is thinking negative all day, so it's definitely important for him. Give him more negative thoughts. Keep him in
Right.
that loop.
Yeah.
So same thing,
Yeah.
when you're grateful, it's like, okay, probably this is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking grateful, then definitely there are other neurotransmitters like dopamine, everything comes out. But definitely that's how it works.
Yeah.
And again, sorry, it's your favorite word. That's
Neuroplasticity.
that's how neuroplasticity happens. Because neuroplasticity is like when you're building new connections, your brain is creating new paths in your brain. I'm just to put it in a very layman terms.
It's my favorite word because I used to make fun of it all the time because I thought it was such a funny word. But again, it just goes to show how much the power of a decision. And the example I gave earlier, where I just couldn't envision exercising, and then suddenly you have this real reason why you need to do it, and all the reasons why I felt it couldn't be done just dropped, and I was actually enjoying it. I mean, it was painful.
That's the first step. People say that to bring the change. The story I was sharing.
Yeah.
For me, when I learned the time is now. I mean, I knew, but I have to. It should come from someone else sometimes.
Yeah.
So it pushes me, and suddenly I woke up. I said, "Really? Yeah, the time is now. I knew about this. Why am I not acting on it?" And straight away, I felt, and I took the decision. I'll apply.
Yeah.
you know, it happens.
Yeah.
It's like a domino effect.
Yeah, it's true.
So
It's when I got this message, remember, because I run a painting business online, not painting and decorating, like an actual art. So I do art on commission and I sell it. And there was this message that came in on Facebook saying there's an arts and crafts fair, and I'd never done that before. And I remember I got the message at like 11 o'clock at night. 11:05, I became a member. I paid my membership, and I had 2 days to put together a whole exhibition, which, you know, it was like, but the thing is, when you decide, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm just on fire. It just rolls. It goes.
That's how it happens. We procrastinate normally. That's another problem. People talk about it. And I feel that because we fear, sometimes we as humans, as hunter-gatherers, I mean, our mind is programmed in a way. We always avoided situations. Say, for example, you see a bush. At that time, I'm talking about like 50,000 years ago, millions of years ago. You saw something behind the bush is shaking. Probably it's just a bird just running around. You think probably there's a tiger behind it. So it was the best option was to avoid it. So nowadays, the modern age, in the last hundreds of years or thousands of years, things have progressed for us. But our mind is still that million years old, same brain. And
because if you think about it, theoretically, and what makes sense, is that genetically, we came from somewhere. Like there's a genetic line, there's bits and cells that are still in our bodies.
So, but the problem is, with the modern age, the brain didn't develop as much. So it's still holding the same kind of perception.
It's just a machine going, stop, don't do this.
So when you're feeling the discomfort, it's like, okay, probably it's better not to do that. Don't go try to explore or go behind that bush. You never know, it could be a tiger. So when you're feeling, okay, I feel the discomfort, and we take good advices and we're like, okay, I'm going to act on it. And the moment you think about it, say, okay, it's not a good idea. Let's not start working on that. Sometimes when I sit down, say for coding, computer programming, I'm like, oh, I don't feel like it. And the moment I start doing it, straight away, I can't come out of that. I keep going, and then you have to come to my studio, knock on the door and say that, do you think we can call it a night? And I'm like, okay, it's midnight by the time. So that's how, and sometimes this is why they say, whatever you don't feel like doing, do at least 2 minutes of that. And initially, it's a good idea not to do bigger chunks. 2 minutes, even if you feel like doing more, stop. At 2 minutes. Come out of it. But tomorrow, again, show up for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. At some point, when it becomes comfortable, you increase your time. And slowly it becomes a habit.
Exactly.
So Manik is asking, when will you visit Bangladesh?
Oh, as soon as possible, I hope.
Especially Esther had a plan. She was kind of thinking, how about we go there this April? But there are a lot of logistics involved.
With work also.
Other plans, holidays. That's when, so let's see if it happens this year, end of this year at some point.
Be nice.
If we can make it happen, at least when I have to be away for long training times. Before that, if I can do it, that would be really nice. So let's see. Manik, to answer your question.
Sherry saying, making a decision is about knowing the what. The how will follow. When we spend so much time thinking about the how we can achieve something, we often do not do anything. It's true. I mean, you sort of mentally start putting all these reasons why, well, how about if this happens? How about if that happens? What if this happens? And then, I mean, I used to be terrible at that. I would find every single thing. And in fact, it says here in the end of this particular book, I'm going to say it because I'm going to just...
I would like to add to that, because they say making a decision is also about knowing the why. Because that's when you delve deeper to find that core values that we talk about, and also what's the purpose, what you can align yourself with, your bigger vision in life. So when you find the why, you find the how.
So in this particular book that I referenced to earlier, it says in the last few pages, most importantly, find out how you can have a positive impact on your world, on our world. We need more dreamers and doers. We need more creators of kindness, heroes of happiness, and champions of change. This is the outlook that each and every one of us needs and can feed into. The way the world is going, some might call this false hope. But there has never been anything false about hope. And remember, there's no point in being a pessimist. That shit never works anyway.
This reminds me of this quote by Wayne Dyer. I mean, many people who back in the 90s, he was one of those earlier life coaches. He said, no one knows enough to be a pessimist. So what is about this? Because we suffer more in imagination than in reality.
Yeah.
So we imagine, we have the negativity bias, again, from the hunter-gatherer period.
Yeah.
We always think about the worst thing
Yeah.
for survival. So we imagine the bad things, but you never know enough to be a pessimist.
Yeah,
So
and Cher is also saying that, oh yes, you must always know your why.
Yeah.
Correct, absolutely. Because if you don't nail that, then you're going to go after a wrong solution or a wrong decision or a wrong anything. And we've made a point of that. Like whenever even one of us doesn't feel amazing or anything, it's like, so what happened? What exactly? And it's always a single thing that caused it. It's not like life is terrible. It's just like someone called and that call wasn't nice. Or
No, I mean, what I was saying, the story I was saying, that it took me 7 years to come to the decision that I'll have to recalibrate or restart my life, to so to speak, because I had to leave everything and reset and start from somewhere.
yeah,
And then I went totally from everything that I was doing. I went to this new degree at a university studying with 20-year-olds.
yeah.
And then it's interestingly that happened again when I finished my degree. Then I started my master's. I was doing electronic engineering course. I've done a year of that. It was an MSc. Then I realized, what am I doing? Why am I not enjoying it the way I thought I would? Then I realized this is about the why in my life. So it's not that, okay, this is what I'm doing and this is an amazing course, amazing university. That's not about that. It's about what aligns with your vision. What is my value? What I want to do ultimately in my life? What gives me pleasure? Where my passion lies? So when I thought about this, I felt, oh my God, I invested 1 year of my life doing this master's, and after that I had a plan for a PhD. What am I doing? And is it a good time to leave that course, or shall I pursue that course? But then I realized it's not making me happy every time I feel that. And what am I going to do? I sat down, took the time, and thankfully during the time I traveled to Bangladesh, I decided that it's time basically not to pursue it, because the hard work I'm putting in, the reward I'll be getting, would I be happy? Isn't it why I reset my whole life a couple of years back to do what I feel like doing, what would align with my vision? Then I left that.
Yeah.
And then I started my neuroscience master's. I mean, this is how I felt. These are the lessons. And I felt over and over again in life, you can't predict your tomorrow. You work on it, you stay in the process, whatever you want to do. Your main ambition is to be a bit better. I just keep investing in myself every day, doing something, do more reading, learning something new, work on my skills. But I really don't I don't try to be totally certain about what the outcome would be. Because in my life, like from you, finding you, my relationship, my study plan, my life goals, like joining the Royal Navy was never, working in the defense was in the cards for me. But how it happened, and I had to go through a 1.5 year process of recruitment, all the
clearances, pre-training, interviews.
It's crazy. So
It's a
everything
lot.
happens, and now I feel that it's better to live in the moment, just ride the wave. You know where you want to be if you're true to yourself. But main thing is that don't do anything that doesn't align with your vision.
Yeah.
Then you end up going into the wrong place, and then you have to come back again. You have to do another reset. So I have become a little worried about that now.
Wary.
Yeah, wary.
Yeah.
So, oh yes, you must always know you okay.
Yeah.
And Shoaib says, I don't want to miss the opportunity to meet such a lovely couple.
That's really nice.
I met him, by the way, if Shoaib remembers. I mean, it was not last year, a few years back, I was shopping. So it was very sweet. My dad, when I was growing up, my mom would be the one. So during our Eid, the biggest festival for in our country as well, like Christmas. So my mom would always take us out for shopping, and she would do everything. My dad would just pay for it. So that was his role. And he would see, once it's bought, we will lay it out on bed, and he would see, oh, I like this, I like that.
Yeah.
So funny thing was that at the time, faded jeans or ripped jeans was in fashion. So once my mom, we wanted to buy that. My mom reluctantly spent that money to buy those ripped jeans or the faded jeans. My dad, because he used to run a business of garments industry, so he was very disappointed. He said, why would you buy a pair of jeans which looks like that someone has already worn it? I mean, you could go and buy someone's used pair of jeans. You don't have to spend money to buy it new. So anyway, coming back to that. So my mom used to take us for the shopping, for those festivities. But for the first time in my life, in my grown-up age, in my 40s, my dad decided to take me for shopping. And he wanted to buy things for me for Eid. So I was buying some outfit for Eid, the festival. And that's when in the shopping mall I've seen Manik. We crossed.
Nice.
I said, "Hi, Manik." I was thinking, I know this guy. Where did I see him?
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, hi, how are you?"
Yeah.
And he walked away. I walked away.
Oh, wow.
But probably he didn't realize. But Manik, if you remember that encounter, that was me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am.
And the plan is basically what happened when we went to Bangladesh the last time. We've said this before, specifically to explain why we didn't see a lot of people, is because his father was very poorly. It was in the middle of the pandemic. They were obviously in a red zone country, and we were not sure if he was going to make it. So our full time attention was on his father, and obviously we were on full lockdown there, so we couldn't travel. We took a little time to see a few close friends who lived in that specific area, which was easy to commute to, but it was definitely not for not wanting to see people. We were very, very lucky to see a few people, but next time when we go to Bangladesh, we definitely want to make sure that, since we don't have the problem anymore of lockdowns and pandemics and red zones, we will make sure that we see everyone, and we will also announce, we'll probably end up doing just a gathering because there's so many people that we would want to see.
Sherry has an amazing message, by the way.
Okay, I did.
Sorry,
I will get to that in a second. And so we will make sure that everyone who does see this, who has seen this, and who has sent us wonderful invitations, that we will make sure that we see you. All right? Please.
Because it really caught my attention straight away when I saw that message, pivot. That's a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
Pivot is like when you decide whether you should make use of grit. Like, okay, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like, but, persevere.
Yeah.
You're going to get. But there are moments which it's a book, Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey, which we're talking about.
Yeah.
And he had said something very interesting in that book, that there's certain times when you lose sleep over something, but how you're losing it.
Right.
Sometimes you feel like, oh my God, I can't wait to go back to work tomorrow and do it, and you can't sleep.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's like, I don't feel like doing it. I can't sleep at night because I have to go back to work tomorrow.
Right.
So which way it works?
Yeah.
So that's when it's time for pivot.
Yeah.
When you decide, you have to move.
Yeah.
So
and I think
pivot-
it's funny that she's saying pivot is not just a dance step. And funnily enough, I was a dancer before, and I saw pivot. That looks interesting. It's about dancing.
I mean, what she's saying that it's not about dance step, you just randomly
No, I
do
know,
it.
but I completely get. But that was really funny. She's specifically saying it's not, and the only definition of pivot I had was in dance. But she's saying pivot is not just a dance step. Being flexible on your direction doesn't make you undisciplined. It instead allows you to pivot around the corners of life. There's an exclam. Just like the conversation, the paths have gone in different directions, but all aligning in the same places on your message of happiness. I love it. It's true. And this is what this show actually brings. And it's because of the people that listen in and the wonderful input they gave. We never prepare for a show. We have a basic idea of the message because it's an alignment of that day or celebration, but we don't prepare speeches, we don't prepare anything. And it's like you're sitting in the living room with us, or in this case, his amazing studio, and we're just having a cup of tea.
Yeah,
and we're
I don't
talking.
prepare script, definitely, but
Yeah.
I do research and read.
Sure, and you have notes,
Which
and you have.
I'm doing all the time.
No, you do that anyway, and you have notes that pertain to the situation,
Yeah.
but you never tell me about them. So for me, it's always a surprise as well.
I mean, to talk about pivot, what she's saying is, I'm going to repeat
Yes,
that.
yeah, please.
Pivot is not just a dance step. So being flexible on your direction doesn't make you undisciplined.
Yeah.
So about successful people, it's an interesting thing. They say there are 3 qualities, and which I'm going to steal from famous life coach Jay Shetty, who's in California now. So he said ORS, which he learned from another coach that he was under. He said, successful people are open, random, which is about this one. When you're flexible, you're random and you're supportive. So ORS. So it's a very interesting thing. They have an open mind. It's not compartmentalized, thinking that this is what I have to do. I cannot be anything. Like I studied as a lawyer. I did my master's. I practiced as well. But then I decided to go into different industry. Then I came back because as a musician, I thought music technology. But now I'm studying neuroscience because I'm combining everything together and what I want to apply ultimately in my life, everything coming in one place, as Shay was saying. So it instead allows you to pivot around the corners of life. Very like different things, you're connecting the dots now. And just like this conversation, the paths have gone in different directions. Yeah, we are going to different places, coming back, but all lining in the same place, your message on happiness, love. And definitely, you are a great anchor as well, Sherry. Every time, anything we are talking about, you're bringing it back in one place, putting it together with your lovely comments. So thanks a lot to you. We are very privileged today.
Very cool.
And Shoaib Manik is saying, I'll give jeans pant both of you when you came.
That's funny. Oh. We're getting a pair of jeans from him when we come.
Okay, so
we're wearing jeans, in fact.
I'm wearing faded, ripped? How would you do that? And probably, I mean, I don't know, probably he has a shop. Yeah. Or factory. So that'd be really nice. Yeah.
We're always joking when we see these girls with these ripped jeans. There was this wonderful quote. So it was a picture of Kim Kardashian, I think it was, with these ripped jeans. And the quote says, despite being attacked by tigers, she's still able to shop. And whenever we see people now with these ripped jeans, it's like, oh, do you think that was a dog or a tiger or like...
Funny thing, the other day I found a great pair of jeans and I was about to buy them, but those were not ripped in a sense. You don't have to cover up because it's already been covered. It's been patched. Yeah. So on the top you see it's ripped, but underneath it's already patched. So I was about to buy them, but then I was like, shall I? Because
we always joke
talk about it whenever we see that. I mean, everyone has the right to be themselves. If that's make them happy without any peer pressure. Yeah. If you feel like wearing that kind of an outfit, it's totally your choice. Totally. Yeah. But if you feel like, okay, someone is wearing it on Instagram and this is why I have to follow that style, even though I'm a bit uncomfortable. Sometimes we see people wearing certain things. I mean, their choice, but probably they had to do it because other people are doing it on social media. But you literally see them, apparently they are not really comfortable. So that's a different issue. So I felt, would I be comfortable? I might be comfortable, to be honest. It's such a good fit.
You look great.
But then I thought about Esther. I said, when I bring that home, she'll be like, okay, now who you've been attacked by? Dog,
when
tiger?
Was that?
3 days back.
Oh my God. Last week, Saturday, I was in town and I saw a great pair of jeans which were ripped. And I didn't get them because I'm always making fun of them.
Exactly, for the same reason. I said she told me that and she didn't get it. Oh, no. Shall I get it? Because we'll have this conversation. I'll check that if I can get that back
I think we should both get a pair of ripped jeans.
I think we should.
Okay. And he says...
oh, no, you're not.
He's not joking. Oh, no, absolutely. No, it's very nice. It's a lovely gesture.
Thank you. Thank you,
really
Manik,
nice.
in advance.
Very sweet.
And we look forward to that. And you can never have enough pair of jeans.
No, agreed.
A pair of jeans is something that when you have like two different colors, a blue and a black, you're done for life.
I've got a bit more colors.
I have different shades of blue.
I've got red, I've got white, I've got beige, I've got khaki, and blue.
Yeah, Manik, not to make you feel uncomfortable because she's giving you a lot of choice that there are no more.
I don't have pink jeans.
Okay,
I love pink.
I don't know if you do pink, Manik. But yeah, I don't have pink jeans as well.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Although it's very fashionable these days, actually. No, it is. It is.
I don't have white jeans. I don't have pink jeans. I just have different shades of black, gray.
Oh, look what he's saying. He's giving his number. He said, this is my WhatsApp number. Send me your waist number and choice.
Oh, man.
Oh, no, we can't accept that.
Do you have a factory or you have a shop?
That's
Let
really
us know.
Sweet.
That's really nice. And thank you for the offer.
Yes.
We'll do that. Yeah, definitely.
My favorite color is periwinkle blue, like I'm wearing today.
Yeah, I'm wearing something similar.
Yeah,
I tried.
That's right. I'm wearing blue. I try to match. I always ask him, "What are you wearing today?" And I'll try to match whatever you. So far, we've done pretty good.
Yeah. So happiness.
Yes.
Happiness is wearing your favorite pair of jeans.
Happiness is periwinkle blue. That color to me is just like a hug.
Yeah. Happiness is when your jeans is like you've been attacked by tiger. So, right? No? Okay.
Happiness is wearing pink Doc Martens, which, by the way, I loved. He gave me, as one of the first presents you gave me, was pink Doc Martens.
I mean,
he knows me so well.
Yeah, for that week, everything was pink.
Oh, my God.
Her wrap was pink, and Doc Marten was
and
pink.
I was asking him, why is everyone looking at me? I'm like 6 foot tall with the pink Doc Martens.
So, okay, dear, noted with thanks. Thank you, Manik. Thank you.
That's really sweet. Wow,
So-
we've been already for 2 hours.
We've been
Time goes
here
fast
for
when
2
you're having
hours.
fun.
Manik was listening.
Yeah.
Sherry was listening. A lot of people, everyone who joined, Russell, Neha.
Nice.
Thanks to everyone. So it's
Yeah.
time slowly for us to get ready to wrap it up so we can start our journey. As you know, I want to call it a day
Yeah.
so I can start fresh. I have few interviews lined up. So our new interview will be released tomorrow, hopefully. And not hopefully, I have to make it happen. And
We have to make it
Yeah,
edit.
and all the way from
edits.
California, by
We do
the way.
edits. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. A fitness coach, right?
Mindset coach.
A mindset coach.
And
Oh,
fitness coach, I'm
coming up.
interviewing tomorrow.
Nice.
So she has done a great journey. She's from Indiana in America. So she has done a great journey where she had lost a huge amount of weight and she has found her ideal weight and she's helping others. She's training others. So I'm interviewing her tomorrow. Probably you'll get to see that next week. But tomorrow we have a mindset coach all the way from California. And she had her own struggle. She'll share the struggle with you. And she will tell you how she's managing and how she's practicing and which platform and how she's helping other people as well. So it's a great lesson. And you can see the enthusiasm whenever
Yeah.
I'm editing it. I mean, when I do the first edit, when
Yeah.
Esther polishes it up and get it ready, production ready and everything.
Thank you.
So it's coming. So keep your eyes peeled and get ready for that. It's coming on YouTube channel. You can hear that on Apple Podcast. So yeah, I'll probably release the trailer tonight. So you'll get to know what we're talking about. So in the meantime, stay happy and be legendary. As we say.
Stay healthy.
Stay
By
healthy.
the way, a quick note: pick up your glass. Mom, thank you for the nice glasses. This is my mom got us some special glasses, so we drink more
Yeah.
water.
Importance of water, guys.
Yes, drink
Sleep
water.
and drink water as well. Okay, on that happy note, thanks
Thank
for
you.
being
Yeah,
with us on
it's
the
been
weekly
amazing.
live stream of Knowing Who You Are. And Sherry, special thanks to you.
Yeah.
Bringing it every time. We just anchoring the whole conversation on your comment.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Every time. It was
Really
a
helpful. And this will be here forever. So whoever watches this in future times, thank you. You will have helped them too.
In the meantime, have a great night, great rest of the day, wherever you are, and have a good night's sleep as
See
well.
you next week, Sunday, 6 p.m.